Robert Christensen, and this is Motive for Life. Thank you for joining me. It's been a few days since I've done a podcast, mostly because I allowed myself to get run down. And usually I don't do that. What happened was I have a lot of things going on at the house. We're rebuilding a bathroom. I was doing some yard work. I like to garden. The day job is got a lot going on. I'm really enjoying what I do day in and day out. And I just got fatigued mentally. I think also because I was going to the gym a lot too. So there's just a rebalancing that happened. And I decided to give myself a little self-care and give myself a week off on the podcast. And what it did was force me to ask myself a question about what am I doing today with Motive for Life. What am I doing with, my Palace pens where we reinvented the whiteboard pen? My friend Devin and I did that. We're going to learn more about that later. And decide what I want to double down on. Where do I want to put my efforts? I'm in the third of my life, what I call the back third. And where do I want to spend my time? Because it's not about making more money. It's about learning more. It's about giving more. It's about being of relevance and service to those around me. I've done well in my life, specifically with the elevation of self-worth. As everybody knows, I just talk about bringing up your worthiness so that you can accomplish the things you want to accomplish. And the first stuff we do when we elevate our self-worth is, get ourselves financially secure. That's just a given, right? We got to do that. Get ourselves healthy is the next phase. And then you start going up the hierarchy like Maslow talks about when you start realizing your purpose and what it is that you want to do with your life. And you ask yourself a bunch of questions about, am I doing what I want to do? Am I going to be somebody that's of meaning and purpose? Am I going to contribute to society? Am I going to spend my days focusing on others and elevating them so that they can live a better life and then pass that on to others and so on? It's almost as if I wanted to be somebody, but I don't know who. I'm almost somebody. I'm almost there, and I don't know exactly who it is I almost am. It's a question I think that is in front of everybody. A good friend of mine named Drew came by the house a couple of days ago, and we were talking about his next stage. What is it that he wanted to do? And he did not know. He's 37. He's a really, really good guy. He's smart, but he's a bit lost. He just doesn't want to grind it out anymore. He doesn't want to spend his days inside, doesn't want to spend his days inside a cube, doesn't want to get on the phone 24/7 trying to grind it out. I related, totally related. Now, we sat in my garden that I've been working on for a year, and he looked around and he goes, "This is great." And I said, "You know what it used to be, though? It used to be this big jungle, all these weeds and gnarly, and the ground was terrible. I had to pull all these trees out and stumps and stuff to get it to where I wanted to go." I said to Drew, this is what it takes to get to where you want to be. You're going to have to start. To be somebody, to be that person, or to do something that you will become somebody, you're going to have to start doing something. You're going to have to contribute. You have to start in on something and begin. Everybody I know wants to have relevance. They want to be somebody. They want to be that person that they see other people doing or being or acting. And they want to get there so much faster than what's realistically possible. Or do they have the patience to do it? And what I think boils down to it is this, is that at the end of the day, we just don't have the patience. We don't want to put the work in that's necessary to get us to that next level, for fear that that next level may not be what we want. So we don't do anything. We say, well, what if that's not what I want? And I spend all this time and I wasted all this time. I just think that's just total crap. First off, you're going to learn a lot on the way. You're going to put in the reps. I was considering shutting down this podcast. I've been doing it for almost 4 years now, 142 episodes. 142 episodes over 4 years. And we may have 2,000 downloads a month. It's pretty good for a podcast, actually. You know, it's not Joe Rogan or, Gary Vee or anything like that. I like Gary Vee. He's a great guy. But I listened to Gary Vee talk about that. And he says he did 7 years of Wine Library and his podcast and stuff like that. And he had hardly anybody listening. He just says that's what it takes. So we're really, really underestimating what it takes to be somebody, to be that person, to make that impact. So what do I got to do in the meantime? I got to do something I love. Because in the meantime, when you're not making any money, it's not going anywhere, you're not getting the thumbs ups or the subscribes or the feedback that you think that you're supposed to get on all of these channels and all these social places and whatever it is that you're trying to do, we're not getting the feedback that we're wanting. We're not making the progress that we think we're making. We're not making the money that we thought we were making. The family's not acting the way we're supposed to be acting. Pick a reason. So we got to be doing something that we love. Because if you're grinding it out just for the money on stuff that you don't love, that is no way that's going to work out. You're going to get to the place where you make the money and you're going to say to yourself, well, that wasn't any good. Okay, I got the money. Fantastic. Okay, great. Now what I do? Money attainment is not happiness attainment. So if you can do this work while you make the money, making money doing something else, while doing the work you like, now that's pretty cool. That's a pretty good side hustle. And that's what I love about this side hustle, this Motive for Life side hustle. It's because it's a passion project. Every Thursday night we have the Gift Mastermind. It's free. It's 7 p.m. It's on the Pacific Coast time. And, we just get together and we have a little lesson around elevating self-worth and pick some topics about how we're going to get better in our life. And we set some goals. And we just talk amongst ourselves and get a place where people can communicate and talk about the things that are holding them back, to have clear conversations. And when you have clear, transparent conversations, you can start seeing the road ahead of you a little more clearly. It becomes less scary. You're able to take more chances because you feel better about yourself and you feel that you're more worthy about things coming your way. And that's what happens in the Gift Mastermind. So it's a really good place to come. You're welcome to join us. Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Go to the website, bethegift.co, and then you can register for our Thursday night mastermind. It's free. Yeah, it's free. And what I found is when I give things away for free, most people don't follow through on this stuff. It's because there's no skin in the game. But I found also that there's a lot of people out there who do follow through. They show up and it's a great community. And I want to attract those people to come join us. So back on the topic of almost being somebody, I want to share a story with you. When I was 38, I started writing this book called Trojan Horse. Now, I wanted to write a book about the computer industry, specifically about the viruses that were going around at the time. This is in 1998, just running up to the .com. And investment communities were just going crazy, kind of like the way they are now. And money was flowing everywhere. The economy was doing great. President Clinton was doing fantastic as a president. Just a whole bunch of good things were happening at the time. And I wanted to write this computer science book that was legit because I was reading all these other, murder mysteries and stuff like that about computer science stuff. And they literally didn't have any, credibility at all in them. So I wrote this book called Trojan Horse. And basically the theme of the book was this, that a antivirus company was actually the company that was making the viruses so they could release the antivirus at the same time. So it was a big scam, right? And the chief scientist of the company figured it out and he blew the whistle on everybody and tore the whole company down. It was a great book. Lots and lots of drama. It was a good murder mystery. I got a lot of feedback. I sent the first draft to a agent and someone to review it, and they loved it. They were taking it to Simon and Schuster and Warner Brothers, and they were getting a lot of interest. And then they wanted me to make some changes to it. I was so excited about this opportunity, and I couldn't make the changes. I got stuck. I could see the finish line. I could see what I had to do to get Trojan Horse across the line, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I would sit down at the keyboard and I would freeze up. Now, I didn't know what was going on with me at age 37. I didn't understand that I had an upper limit problem and that my worthiness was not going to allow me to write a best-selling book, even though my logical brain said, you can write a best-selling book. You just spent the last year and a half writing this book. Why haven't you get these changes in place and get it over the line? It's because my subconscious was way more powerful. I was not programmed to be a winner. I was not programmed to be someone who can write a multi-million-dollar seller book to go on the New York Stock Exchange. It just wasn't me. I didn't know it at the time. And let me tell you, man, when the agent and the others finally got sick of my procrastination and didn't want to deal with me anymore, that was a serious blow. I saw the finish line. All I had to do was cross it. And when I was almost somebody. And that story around Trojan Horse hung on me for almost 10 years. And I would beat myself up around why I couldn't do it, why I couldn't get out there and make that happen. And it's like you're in the lead on a race and you can see where you're going. You can see the finish line right there and you pull back and you let the guys win. You let somebody else next to you win. You don't even finish. This is exactly what happened to me. And I just couldn't figure it out at the time. I got so frustrated. And when I figured out that I had a worthiness problem, which didn't happen until 2011, I look back on all of those problems I'd had, all of those build it up and then turn away, build it up and not finish, build it up and only get a little bit of success, build it up and not finish. Sometimes build it up and then just burn it down. The self-sabotage would kick in when I got too close to success. And one more time, I was almost somebody. If this sounds like you, I mean, or perhaps you didn't even get almost. Maybe it's just that you just didn't even start, because why go do something when you're going to suck at it anyways, right? It's a tough way to go. It's a tough way to have that in your brain. Here's the good news, is that you can reprogram your brain to get rid of that bullshit. And how you do it? Through repetition. Repeating affirmations 100, 200, 500 times until your subconscious accepts it as real. And then you're not fighting yourself. Then you can go do the work to get yourself across the finish line. Then I could have done the work to finish Trojan Horse and do the revisions that was asked of me. But I did not know that that's all I had to do. That's all I had to do was put the affirmations in place. Literally, that's all I had to do. Every morning and every night, repeat the affirmations that I am worthy of writing an amazing bestseller. That Trojan Horse is an international bestseller. I am an excellent writer who completes his books. Those affirmations, that's all I had to do. I had to say them for 90 days, throughout the day, every day, and my subconscious brain would accept it and make it real. That's it. And I didn't know it. But today, I have a whole new other set of ideas. These podcasts, the coaching I do, the books I write today, the articles, the videos, all that stuff. Love it. And that's all I'm sharing with you is figure out what you want, write an affirmation that supports it, repeat it 90 days until your subconscious accepts it and makes it real. And then you will be somebody. You will be the person you want to be. You will cross the finish line. And that's just it. That's all there is to it. Use the number one tool you have at your disposal, and that is your subconscious brain, your subconscious mind, to learn what you want. Program yourself to accept the positive and to accept the good in your life. This is Robert Christensen saying, I love you. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye. This has been a Motive for Life Productions, all rights reserved.